Encryption successful. Transmission begins. Observation report. Year 253, Month 9, Autumn. Territory 6, Village 624. Incident: Purge of 624 and resignation.
20 years at this post, ever since 2 of the Sosamos moved here. There were 4 of them for a while and then 3, but I'm sure you remember that report. Anyway, yeah, were. Sorry, I'm not at my best right now. You see, I just watched the village die. Most of it anyway, all but 3 of the adults. They'll wipe the kids and move them to new families somewhere like usual. Just another purge, can't lose too much of the workforce. I read about the purges, of course. We all did. It was so academic. Let's see if I can remember it verbatim. When citizens of the church are found to be collaborating with the XCOM, their settlement shall be punished. For a minor offense, the settlement shall be decimated. 1 in every 10 adults shall die. For a major offense, the settlement shall be purged. All adults shall die, and all children shall be removed to a new, more pious environment. Notice the voice there. Are found, shall be, shall die. Passive voice. The church wrote it up in the accounts as if it were an inevitable, natural occurrence, requiring no one to even lift a finger. And they said grammar was a waste of time. Sure helped me see through that spin. But that's not how it actually works. Someone has to make the dying happen. Several someones really, but the auditor makes most of the dying happen. Village 624 wasn't very big, so it was a one-auditor job. Auditor Johnson, to be specific. They arrived from the sky along with the sun, per regulations, and confronted the accused. Jack Young. He had a kid with one of the Sosamos, then helped raise the other Sosamo's daughter after... Well, you remember that report, too. He'd been supplying intel to the XCOM, stuff he learned from his son Denton over dinner, whatever. Plus supplies, smuggling, the usual for this kind of thing. You remember Denton. Did his stint in the army, then applied to the bureau and became a clerk. Gov's got their eye on him, they say. Real zealot. Still not sure how that happened with a Sosamo and a heretic for parents, but that's one for the sociologists to tussle with. Anyway, kid found out his dad was doing some heavy heresy, and wouldn't you know it, he turned old Jack right in. His own father. He knew what would happen. He knew. That's some dedication to dogma right there. No wonder they've got their eye on him. Well, it went about how you'd expect. Jack spat right in that auditor's sunrise helmeted face and died before the spittle could even start dripping. Then everyone else died, and the EO swooped in to take the squalling, terrified kids off for processing. Looks like Lean got away. Den's cousin, then adopted sister. Did he help her escape? Even after sentencing his dad and every other adult in his village to death, all the rest of his parents, mentor, everybody? I don't know. Seems unlikely. They were close, though. One other person got away, but I'm not sure who. Sorry about that. I was a little bit distracted by the carnage. All I can tell you is that there weren't enough piles of ash to account for everyone who should have died. So I guess that's it for Village 624, at least until the cleanup crews come through and a new generation can move in. I don't think I'll be sticking around for that, though. It'd be great if you could come get me, then maybe drop me off somewhere quiet for a while. I don't think I can do this anymore. I don't think I can watch the books.
come to life. Report ends. All right, so you've tied, which means that you can see the creature. There's a minor cost associated with it as far as a tie is concerned. So something like you take 1 strain from staring into the dark so hard, or you take a boost against you.
I guess I'll take the 1 strain.
Okay, so mark that off. You were staring so hard that you've hurt your eyes and caused yourself to have a bit of a headache. But you see it. The spider. It's black, which is why it was so difficult to see. But what you notice, what allows you to pick her out of the dark, is a bright red pattern on the back of her abdomen.
Oh no.
She's a Nazi.
Well, it's an hourglass, so not that.
Time Nazi.
Oh, yes, there's a bright red hourglass shape that you're able to pick out of the darkness on the back of her abdomen.
We shall call her Scarlet.
This is the largest spider you've yet seen, and it's clinging to the walls, and its 8 beady eyes are gazing down at all of you and the action unfolding below with the bugs.
If only we had a spider hunter.
If only. Or if only someone had a bow or throwing knives or something.
Maeve is the spider queen.
No, that's actually why I asked about the aspect.
Which aspect do you want to look at?
I was going to invoke authority must be obeyed or it must be overthrown.
Yeah?
Because the spider is in my turf.
Okay. So this is, as you can see from the nameplate, I mean, obviously your characters have no way of knowing this, but I've dubbed her the Ebon Dowager. A truly massive black widow who appears to be directing these gigantic insects to follow her will. Now, Maeve, you've seen this authority as something that you must challenge and overthrow. Well, now you know where she is. Now, where were we in the exchange?
Right at the start.
Okay, so the flying and leaping swarms had gone. Maeve, you went, I guess. Emran tried to get up, as I recall, and Zonin swam around to the other side of the island.
Is locating her my entire turn?
Yeah. You're in a completely black room. The fact that you were able to see a black spider is quite the heroic feat.
Witchcraft.
Yeah. Alright, sorry, did we reach the end of the exchange and start again at the top? I had to take the dog.
I didn't go.
Okay. Keva, then go for it.
Well, Keva's going to try to get back towards her friends.
Alright. So you're going to head towards the island.
Yes.
Sure, okay. If you want to take your turn to do that, I'm not going to make you roll for it. You can just go to the island.
Sounds good.
Okay, you do that. Which brings us to the slower swarms. The crawling swarm has been attracted north by the sound of Zonin's voice. And they start crawling north, and some of them start to get caught up in the web. There's an obstacle in their way, and they're going to try and overcome it by dismantling the web. Fortunately, as you can see, they are skilled at dismantling things. They're going to need to have a fair roll here. And they succeed with style. So they are able to dismantle the web, and they are able to hold it in such a way that they just now have a web to use as a net.
Smart insects will be the first things that I kill in the post-nuclear apocalypse.
The stinging swarm has to make its way across the water to continue attacking you. Some of them fly, others don't. So let's see, what are they? They're bad at thinking ahead. So they're trying to get across the water, and their plan is just to have the flying ones pick up the crawling ones, forgetting that the crawling ones are generally heavier. So we'll see how they do.
You can say that about Keva. Keva is smarter than bugs.
So they're going to need to also hit a fair roll to get across without losing too many of their number. They do not. They've rolled mediocre, which is 2 below what they need. Okay, so I'm going to have them take a stress for that.
Yes.
As many of their numbers start to fall into the water and drown. Alright, that brings us back to the top of the exchange. Well, Emran, you haven't been able to get up out of the water yet, which is bad news. So the flying swarm...
Like a bully.
The flying swarm is going to move on to Maeve, the next nearest target. And they are going to try and create the disadvantage blinded on you by flying around and into your face. Which is a good way for them to defend their queen, too. Alright, they have gotten the worst possible roll, a -2. How will you defend against this, Maeve?
Would it be...
Exert your inherent will over insect kind.
It apparently doesn't work on big bugs. Would it be clever of me to, like, close my eyes and just, like, close my mouth?
Yeah, I mean, you can also try. I don't think you've tried yet to exert your will on these bugs.
Which roll would that be?
That would be an opposed clever roll.
Sure, I'll try it.
Okay. So make your clever roll, and the Ebon Dowager will make hers. You got 2 rolls there, but we'll go with the first one. You rolled a 6. The Ebon Dowager hasn't had as much luck as rolled a 1, so you've succeeded with style. Alright, I know what happens here. You close your eyes and you reach out towards those sounds, the auditory hallucinations you've been having over the past 6 weeks. And you have been trying to engage with them or manipulate them in some way, and so far you haven't been able to. But something about the situation here, maybe it's something in the water, maybe it's coming face to face with this controlling arachnid force, maybe it's anything else. But this time you reach out and you grab it with your mind. You're able to clamp your will around these visions and sounds that plague your mind in every waking hour. And as you do, you feel it start to fight back. You can feel and hear the Ebon Dowager skittering across the ceiling towards you to get over you now. But as that's happening, everything sort of pauses. All of the swarms stop. Just for a moment. And the Ebon Dowager lets out a horrifying, clicking, screaming hiss. And it falls from the ceiling, momentarily shocked by your force of will. It lands in the middle of the towers. Sorry, she lands in the middle of the towers, on her back, her legs thrashing. Alright, now, where were we?
That was some hype-ass shit, y'all.
Now I'm gonna have to eat her heart to gain her power.
Zoinks!
Maybe. I'm sure there are other ways.
That's literally the only way, Matt.
She will be your new mount.
You could maybe try to tame her or get her under control.
Highlander rules. There can only be one.
Hey, it's your character. You do what you feel is right.
Sorry, what just happened? Because my thing just got disconnected and then reconnected.
So Maeve...
Professor Xavier, the swarm.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's about right. Whose turn is up next?
Can I cop it?
Why not?
So, while Emran is just being bullied by this swarm and he's being held underwater, I think, at least in my headcanon, in the fiction, Emran just has a flashback to being bullied.
Makes sense.
When he was younger and his head being held underwater before he had the massive growth spurt. And a little bit of that old rage that marked him as the pugnacious youth of the town is really starting to bubble up again. And while he may not be able to see, he can thrash. And so he's going to try and just get up again. But this time he's really angry.
Okay. That's a pretty good roll. You've rolled a +7 on your forceful attempt to stand up.
He is quite angry.
Yeah, you burst up out of the water like a whale breaching. It's very impressive. You are able to get out of the water so swiftly that the water you splash up into the air. You know, that's such a good roll. The water splashes up into the air and it soaks the wings of the flying swarm such that they all start to fall to the ground and fall into the water as well. We'll say that that's the end of them.
Emran just howls like you guys, it's been years since you've heard him yell like that, but something broke inside him just now.
Is it possible to cut in Will You Be There by Michael Jackson underneath that when you publish this?
I will definitely get the rights for that just for this purpose.
Awesome, thanks.
I'm not really going to do that. Don't tell Zonin.
I was going to say, as far as this mental battle with the Ebony Dowager goes, just imagine me like Xena warrior princess screaming into her mind.
I've added her stat block to the left.
Now, what does that look like on the outside, though?
The spider skittered across the ceiling, and then, when it was shocked by Maeve's will, fell down to the ground, and is currently thrashing on its back in the middle of all the towers here.
Mm-hmm.
What were we using to create the torches, besides the spider leg?
Rags.
But what's causing the initial flame?
I assume one of your strikers or fire makers or something.
Okay. Can I take my turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to attempt to light all of the webs on fire, like the thick webs that I'm in front of.
It sounds like you're trying to create an advantage.
Indeed.
Okay. So what would you call this? What kind of approach do you think is working here?
I think it's a clever plan, personally.
Okay, it's a clever plan to create an advantage, so we'll give it a shot.
4.
Okay, and let's see them try and stop you. They're bad at evading. They do the worst, almost the worst possible roll. They've got a -4.
Dear me.
Indeed. So they are going to take some hurt in addition to having the advantage on fire created on them. No, actually that's not how that works. They have the advantage on fire created on them, and you now have 2 free invocations of that advantage that anyone can use.
Alright, and that's just for the crawling swarm.
Yeah.
But this is like now illuminating our chamber a little bit?
Oh yeah. That's also true. That it replaces the torch, and there's more of the web, so the island, I would say, is now illuminated enough that you can see decently. Everyone
How does
can.
the Ebon Dowager feel about that, considering she never leaves the shadows?
She's not happy, but she's
Cool,
also
just checking.
still recovering from the whole mind battle thing.
True.
Okay. Was there anyone else left to go on Team Hero? I don't think so.
Did my move count before?
When you came over to the island, that was your move. This exchange.
Okay, sorry. It's just not sure the separation between the 2 different exchanges. I guess it was all the same one.
Did we not have another exchange? I thought we had one. Okay, well, let me just get here. We'll just go to the top of the exchange, which means that the first person to go is the Ebon Dowager. And the Ebon Dowager is trying to get itself righted. So that's going to be a quick move that it does to try and get back on its feet. I just need to get an average roll for that. Which she does. So the Ebon Dowager is back on her feet, towering over all of you. She's about, I'm going to say 3.5 meters tall, and around twice that wide. So she takes up most of the island now that she's on her feet, all 8 of them. The flying swarm is down. The leaping swarm blasts across the water in the air and attempts to land on top of Maeve to take out the threat to their queen. So they're just doing a straight up attack on you.
No, go away.
They've rolled a 3. You're going to have to either do a quick or forceful defense here, depending on whether you're going to try and brood it out or dodge. Alright. You've rolled a -1 on your quick roll.
No.
Do you have anything you can do about that, Maeve?
Can I spend a fate point to reroll that?
What aspect are you going to invoke?
Can I invoke the if you have the will, you make the way again? Just because now I am deadlocked with the Ebon Dowager.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Okay, you've tied. Meaning that they are going to land on you and create the boost bowled over. So you can put that aspect on yourself, but they do no damage.
Does that knock me down?
Yeah, you're bowled over. You're on your butt. Or on your back, actually.
Could I spend my last fate point to add my stunt into that or not?
Which stunt are you using?
Artful Dodger, +2 when quickly defending.
Yeah. So you are able to fall backwards and then roll in such a way that you're not put off balance when they start landing and pelting around you. It's very impressive. Especially for Maeve.
Backwards barrel roll.
And then that means it is your turn, all of you.
I would like to go first. Especially since Maeve just got attacked.
Mm-hmm.
So, now Keva's on the same, on the island with everyone else, and this, the leaping swarm has attacked Maeve, so she's gonna, forcefully, start smashing some bugs.
Okay. And you get are you gonna use your stunt on that?
Yes, the stunt,
Because you're afraid of seeing your friends get hurt, and you get a +2 on an attack roll after one of your allies gets attacked by an enemy.
Yes, that one, exactly.
Okay, make your forceful attack. Okay, they've rolled a 3 in their attempt to evade.
I should mention that I didn't add in the +2 to that. I just rolled and then...
Yeah, I know, you got a good roll. You got a 5 there. Sorry, not a good roll. You got a 5 there. And you are also, in total, you'll have a 7 if you use that stunt. You can also use that boost that's on them. Someone can get a free invoke on that disoriented boost. No one's used it yet.
I guess I'll use it.
Okay. So that brings your total roll to a 9. And they have got a 3, which means they take 6 stress. So your your rushing shield assault just slams into them, crushing the leads of the swarm and throwing them into total disarray, such that the few that are left standing sort of just start leaping away in fear and terror. And the leaping swarm has been defeated by Keva's mighty assault.
Yes!
Woo!
Okay.
Now, did that eat up a fate point? Just double checking.
To use your stunt, yes.
Okie doke.
Okay, who's next?
I'll go next and keep trying to just mentally break the Dowager.
Okay. I'm putting the stinging swarm halfway across here because they did make it, they just lost some of their number along the way. Okay, Maeve. So you want to continue your battle of wills with the Ebon Dowager. Now that you know what it feels like to grasp control, even momentarily, of the giant bugs, you feel like you can maybe do it again, and possibly even maybe force the Ebon Dowager to your will, if you're strong enough.
I'll go for it.
Okay, that's going to be clever. Okay, so you've rolled a 3, the Ebon Dowager has rolled a 2. I am going to invoke her aspect with my last fate point. The High Queen of the Hub Hive aspect is invoked, bringing her up to a 4. I think you're out of fate points, right?
I am, but I would like to invoke the last disoriented boost we have.
On
the Dowager.
Does she have that boost?
Does she? She was there when the webs were set aflame.
Oh, that was just the one group that got disoriented by that. The crawling swarm is on fire. That's
oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah. So in this exchange, it's extremely close. You're attempting to force this giant spider to obey you, but you're not quite able to gain that control. You feel her slip away from you with the practiced ease of someone who's been doing this for a very long time. But you were close. Every time that you do this now, you feel like you're getting closer and closer to being able to fully understand how it works, and being able to maybe snatch control if she survives that long, or if you do.
All right, I'll keep trying.
Emran or Zonin?
Emran would like to smack some stinging bugs.
All right. Does Emran know where they are? I assume
Emran would like to figure out where these stinging bugs are.
I assume someone can direct you towards them.
Someone direct my fury, please.
Emran, they're behind you. I think.
Are you just going after them with your doused torch? Or are you going to use your shield? What do you want to do?
I would like to hold up my father's shield, and I wasn't able to watch Keva completely demolish the leaping swarm with hers, but in a show of camaraderie, I would like to similarly squish bugs with mine.
Funny thing happens, Emran.
I can see, and everything is fine.
Not quite. But you see something. After 6 weeks of blank white canvas, you see something, briefly. As you hold up your shield and advance on the stinging swarm, you can, for a fleeting moment, see Maeve and Keva, and then behind them, this swarm of stinging insects that are very large. It's just a moment, but the angle seemed wrong. Anyway, you continue your advance. Let's make that roll.
That is not ideal.
Yeah, you've rolled a 2. Fortunately, the stinging swarm is bad at evading. Okay, that was the wrong roll. Don't panic. I forgot the letter F. Alright, so they've rolled a -3 compared to your 2. So, you charge in there with your shield, and having had just that moment's vision of them, you know exactly where to strike. And you're laying about you with your shield and your unlit torch, and just bug after bug is felled before your fury until only a few remain, limping away from you towards the water, towards the ground, towards anything to get away from this horrifying monster. And the stinging swarm is now gone. Okay.
Yay.
Zonin, you're faced with these bugs who are menacing you with a net that's a web.
That's also on fire.
It's also on fire, yes. They're on fire, a lot of them, but, you know, it's a swarm.
Alright. You mentioned that the island is made of, there's like cobblestones and tiles?
Just tiles, like ceramic style, or like laminate style tiles.
Like large tile or small tile?
It's like in, you know, if you go to like a mall or an industrial warehouse and it has just laminate flooring, it's like that, but it's all torn up.
Okay. I haven't been to an industrial warehouse in a while, but I'll take your word for it.
Oh, most of them actually have cement floors, but, you know, a mall would have that.
Okay. I am going to stomp on them with my feet.
Sure. Sounds forceful to me.
Yep. That's all I can think of.
Oh, yeah. Just plunge your feet into this burning mass of insects.
Oh, no.
It's not a great roll you've got there. It's a -2.
Okay.
Fury can only go so far.
I also have a twisted ankle, and I didn't think about that.
Yeah, you do. But you have a free invoke on the aspect on fire that you can use to re-roll.
Yeah, I'm gonna invoke that reroll.
Okay.
Ooh, +2.
Much.
All right, excellent. Now let's see how they defend. They're bad at this.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
Okay, they've rolled a -2. So that gives you 4 shifts of damage against them, which is exactly enough to crush this crawling swarm, even with your sprained ankle.
Yay! Does the application of heat help heal my ankle in any way?
Oh, absolutely not, no. But the Ebon Dowager now stands alone, deprived of her vassals.
The cheese stands alone. The cheese stands alone. I ho the dairy-o, the cheese stands alone.
Oh, it's the top of the round. The good news is the Ebon Dowager is not good at direct confrontation. The bad news is the Ebon Dowager is incredibly tricky. She leaps up into the air, and her spinnerets start going as web falls out behind her in a spiraling pattern as she begins to spin. And she's going to make a roll against all of you in an attempt to create an advantage entangled.
This is exactly what Keva doesn't like.
She's rolled a 7, so each one of you has to defend against this somehow.
Is it valid that I just start rending it with my hands?
Do you know what's coming?
That's a fair point.
You know, let's let the others go first and we'll figure that out.
Can I try and... You said there are pillars?
There's towers, yeah.
Can I try and just hide behind one of the towers to avoid it?
Yeah, if you're quick.
Quick or sneaky?
Are you trying to trick her, or are you trying to get out of the way?
Oh, hold on. Okay, come back to me.
Okay. Keva, Maeve?
Well, Keva's gonna try to block the threads with her shield, I guess. And do that forcefully.
Okay, so you're going to try and withstand the sticky web and let it stick to your shield instead of your body.
Yes.
Okay, give it a shot. Yeah, you've rolled a 1 there.
And I have no fate points.
Oh, dang. So you are wrapped in layers of thread. She succeeds with style on Keva, so she gets two free invokes on that one against you.
Oh boy.
Maeve, what do you think?
Could I try to maybe cleverly anticipate that since I am in her head?
Yeah, sure, why not? You got a 3 there. So, let's see, a 7. 7 still succeeds with style. She gets the entangled on you. You're wrapped up in webs of her making.
Will the entangled affect my ability to concentrate or just my movement?
Depends on what she does with it. Emran, Zonin?
Can you... is there debris on the island? Like just a stick of any sort?
Sticks? No, but there are a lot of dead giant bugs around.
I want to grab a giant bug leg and try and... Because there's still flaming web from before, and I kind of want to use the flaming web to burn up this new web being generated.
Okay. That seems clever.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say that.
Give it your best shot. You got a 4. So she still succeeds with style. I mean, do you have any fate points left?
I've got 2.
You could use some of those to get out of this. If you can find a way.
I'm trying to figure out what to invoke. You know what I've never done before?
What's that?
Play baseball. And so I'm going to use this bug leg like a baseball bat and swing, batter, swing. And this would be my first home run.
Okay, so you spend that fate point, and that brings you up to a 6. So she's still going to get you, unless you can think of another way. You start swatting away big swaths of the web, but some of it's still starting to get around you.
Oh! Do you remember... no, not do you remember. I did find this hat in the wreckage. It looked like an area that was under construction. It was a hat, the best described as soft. Not soft, like a not soft hat.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab that not soft hat and kind of use it as a shield, a hat for any occasion. I'm just gonna toss that hat at the webbing with my other hand.
Okay, that brings you up to an 8, and you are able to dance out of the way of the web, swat some of it away, and use this hat that, if only there was some word that meant the opposite of soft, to catch the rest of the webbing and keep yourself free. Emran, you've probably heard some noises by now, so if you want to try and catch the web and rip it apart, you can give it a shot.
Something along the lines of Keva going like, ugh! There's web all over me!
Might be that, exactly.
So Emran in his blind fury, probably just takes it and then just starts rending it as soon as he feels it being spun around him.
Okay, make a forceful roll.
Blind fury.
You got a 5. That's pretty close.
Now, can I invoke because I'm as strong as 10 men, forcefully overcome obstacles? Is this one of those?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that brings me up to a tie with her, yeah?
Looks that way.
I think... Yeah, I'll take the tie.
All right. So you are entangled, but it costs her something. She's now tethered to you just as much as you're tethered to her. So we'll give her
boy.
the...
Oh boy.
We'll give her the leashed boost. Okay. Now all of you have a turn.
I would like to pull her in and give her a bop.
All right. So you're going to try and yank her towards you, and you're making a forceful attack there?
Sure am.
Okay.
Okay, I see. Good job, dice.
Sorry, my keyboard briefly switched to Chinese there.
Okay.
All right. And let's see her try to... the only thing that makes sense is a forceful defense, because she's tethered to you, so we'll give it a try there. She rolls a 0, but she's going to invoke your entangled aspect to knock you just slightly off balance enough that she doesn't get pulled directly into your fist.
Now, may I take that free boost of leashed?
Yeah, you can.
And then I would also like to burn my last fate point on extremely strong and just give myself a further +2.
All right, so that's going to be 4 total damage, or 4 total shifts of damage that you get on her.
Indeed.
Okay. So she's going to take 4 shifts of damage. She's going to fill in her 3 stress box and her 1 stress box. So she's looking fairly rough, but she's still on her 8 feet after that colossal blow that you delivered. Who's next?
I'll go and just try to break her again.
All right. Make your attempt. You've rolled a 5 on your clever roll. Let's see what she can manage. She's rolled a 4. That's extremely lucky, because then she can use her entangled boost on you to squeeze your body and snap you out of your momentary victory over her mind. If only she weren't such a wily opponent, this would be over by now. Who's next?
Despite being tangled, can I just shout to everyone to keep her on the ground?
Sure. She hasn't made you mute, just tied up.
Is it possible for me to handle some of this old web, or is it too sticky for me to hold and not let go of?
Like, there's cobwebs around that you can pick up. Those are dried out.
Yeah, I want to try and tie 2 of her legs together to create an advantage.
All right. You're going to try and entangle her.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to have to do this quickly, though.
All right. Swift. Oh, no.
I rolled -1. And I have her try and quickly evade.
Zonin, you're just not her type.
She does.
Oh, boy.
She evades, and you take a little foot to the face there. And that leaves you bruised. You have the boost bruised on you, in addition to your ankle.
I'm not coming out of this unscathed.
Keva, I think you're the last Team Hero team to go.
Yes, and Keva is kind of at a loss of what to do because she's all like covered in web.
She is.
But you know what? She's gonna try to do one of the last things she knows she can do is toss the shield like a frisbee right at the spider, the Ebon Dowager. And she's gonna carefully aim and toss it right where she thinks it will hurt.
Okay, so you're gonna do a forceful attack on her.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, did I misunderstand?
I said she was carefully aiming, but if you say
if you're going to do a careful aiming, that would be creating an advantage for your next attack.
Okay. Keva is going to just like try to like move, even though she's kind of tangled up in this web, try to move into a prime position and, you know, free up her arm enough to toss that shield for her next turn.
Okay. May I make a suggestion, or just a reminder to you as a group? You can use overcome rolls to help remove negative aspects from other people on your team.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, Maeve has another free invocation on the entangled aspect that the Ebon Dowager could use. If someone were to, say, unentangle her, then that would not be an impedance in future mental contests.
Oh, okay. So are you saying Keva should try to, like, rip the web off of Maeve?
It's just a reminder that this is something you can do in this game. Teamwork is highly encouraged.
All right. Well, I guess Keva will do that then.
Okay.
Should I roll or?
Yeah, you're gonna need you need to do an overcome roll, and to remove that aspect, you need an average roll.
Okay.
And it'll be.
I guess she'll.
Forceful, I assume, because you're ripping something off of her.
Yeah.
Okay, you got exactly an average roll. So what does this look like? How does Keva do this?
Well, Keva is covered in web as well, and she's kind of trying as hard as she can to get some of this web off of Maeve. And it really, like, instead of just, like, it's not all her strength so much as the fact that she's really sticky and that web is sticky, and they're kind of sticking together, and she's peeling it off of Maeve that way.
Okay. So, Maeve, you're now free of entanglements, but it is the Ebon Dowager's turn. And she's standing astride these 10 towers, with one of her 8 feet atop 8 of the towers. And she's looking down towards all of you. Zonan's behind her, but she's looking down at the rest of you. And she darts down towards Emran in an attempt to basically throw all of you off balance. And she tries to basically just stab you with her Calicera, Emran.
I'm gonna take one.
So she's rolled a 1. If you want to make a play, if you want to make a defense of some sort there.
I think... Go ahead, Kevin.
Oh, I foresee that we'll have to make more anti-venom in the future.
Oh, I have tons.
We'll have to get another spider because I'm about to kill her.
You can't kill her on a defend roll.
So I'm gonna defend so hard. So I think because I'm entangled, I know the boost is gone, but we're still in the fiction leashed together.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna basically try and snatch the blow as it comes.
Okay, that sounds cool. Okay, a forceful roll.
Sorry, I can re-roll it quick if you want.
No, it's fine. So she comes down towards you, and you grab her. What are they called? Pedipalps. In each of your hands, and are able to hold her off despite her immense weight. Okay, that makes it Team Hero's turn, and I'm going to remind you all here of aspect stacking, or boost stacking. This is a tactic that is encouraged in Fate, where the team works together to create a variety of advantages on, say, a boss monster, so that one person can invoke all of those advantages for a big hit at the end of the exchange.
So, do you guys mind if I take the first move?
Go right ahead.
Not at all.
So I would like to create an advantage on the Ebon Dowager by making her distracted, by making her engage with me and no one else.
Okay, so you're going to basically keep wrestling her and try and force her face to be towards you, and her attention to be on you.
Indeed.
So that sounds like you're being forceful about it. You're trying to wrestle her into submission, basically.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so roll your forceful to create an advantage.
Wow. Okay. Good job, me.
Well, you got a 2 there. So the only thing that makes sense for her here is, again, forceful. So, I'd like to roll her clever or something, but it just wouldn't make sense in the fiction. So we'll do a forceful reply. And she rolls a -1, so you have succeeded with style. There are 2 free invocations on the aspect. What are we calling it?
Distracted?
All right.
Are
Who's
the
next?
webs still on fire, or is the room gone dark?
We'll say they're still burning. Why not? They're thick webs.
Is it possible for me to shovel them into the water to put the lights out in order to disorient her?
I don't know if that would disorient the giant spider, but you
I
can
think she
try.
likes the dark.
Let me just, She still have web coming out of her thorax or whatever?
Yeah, there's still some coming out of her spinnerets there.
Yeah, which I'm behind her, so I'm near those. I'm going to try and light those bad boys on fire.
Okay. This is something you're going to have to do quickly as well.
No problem.
And she'll attempt to defend quickly. Okay, so she's rolled. You've tied. So you can set her on fire at a minor cost.
I'll take it.
Okay. You're going to take 1 strain as you burn your hand when her web thrashes around as you're setting it on fire. It's not a severe burn, but it does cause you to take a strain.
This is just not a good day for Zonin, health-wise.
It's all good.
And what are we calling that advantage?
Hemorrhoids.
Okay. I'll put that on there, and who wants to go next?
Keva's not going to be much of a help, but she's going to just try to rip off more of the spider web off of herself.
Okay. So you're going to overcome the spider web. You'll need to do, because it's on yourself, an average roll for that.
Okay, and this will be forceful, probably.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I mean fair, because it's on yourself. It's a little more difficult to do. Yeah, forceful. Go for it. You do it!
Yes.
You're free.
All right. Who else wants to go?
I think I'm the last one left.
Okay, what are you going to do?
One more go, and I will do the Professor Xavier 2 fingers to the temple for added power.
Yeah, that makes sense. So make your clever roll. As you resume the mental struggle, you rolled a 5 again. Let's see what she rolls. She's got a 3. She doesn't have any free invocations on you. So as it is, she's going to take 2 shifts of strain, or she'll shunt some of that into consequences. Do you want to add to the mental assault that you're pouring onto her?
I am just gonna, if no one has any objection, I'm just gonna stack on those 2 bonuses for the 9. She will be the first of many.
Do it.
There are actually 3 free bonuses there.
Mess her up. Dominate her mind.
There can only be one Spider Queen.
There can indeed only be one. I will add all of them if no one has any objection.
Can you cut in Masters of the or Princes of the Universe underneath this?
Yeah, no.
A man can dream.
Okay, so that brings your roll up to 11 versus her 3, which is 9 shifts. That's more than she can absorb. Now, when you defeat someone in Fate, it doesn't necessarily mean that you kill them or knock them out or whatever. When you defeat them, you get to decide what that defeat looks like. So, how do you defeat the Ebon Dowager?
As soon as she stops struggling, I'm gonna walk down to Emran and gently take control of the, whatever they're called, mandibles from him. And as I grip each one in each hand, I'm just gonna get right up in her face and just stare all 8 of her eyes with mine until she bows.
She does. Her front several legs splay out as she bows and submits before your mental strength. The Ebon Dowager has been defeated and is now yours to command.
Cue Game of Thrones theme.
Mother of spiders.
Just need 2 more. A red one and a green one.
Alright, so you sense through your new connection with the Ebon Dowager that you can now control all the large insects and arachnids that live in the hub. They are now basically extensions of your mind. You have become the hub of a network of insects, basically. With that, you get a flood of... Remember how we were talking about those sounds and sensations you were feeling and hearing before?
Yes.
There's a brief flood of those, and the intensity forces you to your knees, but you're able to bull your way through it and claw your way back up to the surface as this torrent of sensory input becomes a trickle. You dam it, you wall it off, you turn off valves. So it's going to take you some practice, but you will eventually be able to see and hear and sense anything that anyone that is an insect in the hive sees, hears, or senses. And that is how Maeve became the Spider Queen of the Hub Hive.
Wow.
Gnarly.
Keva, you've got a headache, by the way. Just a weird one. It's pretty intense at your temples. I'm sure it's nothing.
Oh boy.
Alright, so you're in this room. What's the fallout of this look like? How is the team responding to this gigantic spider and its new attitude?
I want to ride the spider.
What happened? Did you kill it? I don't hear it chittering anymore.
You know how all those little bugs used to follow me around?
Yes, I assumed it was because you hadn't bathed and you were busy reading.
That's not incorrect. I resent that, but it's not incorrect. Well, no, there's a big one following.
You dominated this massive creature?
We have an understanding.
That's our Maeve. Is Emran still in the water, or has he gotten back onto dry land?
I'm pretty sure he came out of the water.
Yeah, I'm on the platform with the rest of y'all.
How bad do we all smell?
It's awful.
Okay.
The smell of burning insects is helping to cover up some of that, but it's not really a great alternative.
Let's try to get the water on so that we can wash this stink off.
I'll give the Dowager a few pats on the thorax and tell her she can go. I'll call her when I need her.
She inclines her head and her dripping mandibles and leaps up into the air and disappears into the shadows at the top of the room. As she goes, when Keva, you said you needed some water, right?
Yes.
So as that's happening, some lights begin to come on in this room, the same flickering lights as outside, and you can finally see the whole room.
Thank goodness.
There's a hum in the air. What's happening?
The lights just turned on.
Emran holds his shield in an angle towards the ceiling facing his face.
I'm sorry, like you're tanning?
I think, I made that very confusing. I just hold up the shield to my face, is really what I meant.
Okay. Oddly enough, you see the shape of your face in front of you in the field of white that is all you normally see. You see a faint impression of your own face, upside down.
I gasp.
What is it?
I've been getting flashes. I don't know, maybe I'm starting to see again.
That's great news.
Keva, you look over at Emran, and his eyes are definitely still, like, not remotely what they looked like before, but best not to mention that right now, I think.
Yeah, they're pretty gross.
What's gross? The dead bugs? I agree.
Yep.
I'm going to start walking towards the towers to retrieve my manual.
Okay.
But as I walk past Emran, I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder and I'm just going to whisper to him, cling to the visions, mind over matter.
Emran raises a dubious eyebrow but nods at you, or at least in your direction.
Zonin, you've still got that auditor's helmet on you, right? Like, not on your head, but you're carrying it around?
Yes, yes.
Okay, just wondering. You remember what happened last time you used that for something?
Yeah, I'm saving it.
Okay. Just, that's something to think about. Anyway, we're going to call that the end of the scene, now that you've defeated all those bugs. So if you received a compel, or compelled yourself during the past scene, give yourself a fate point. And if you have stress, you can clear your stress.
So my bruise, burn, and ankle are not stresses?
Those are boosts, so we'll just take them off for now if you can tell us how you're treating them.
I'll wrap my hand in fabric.
I can help with those.
Oh, thank you. I will use a giant bug leg as a crutch to ease off my ankle. And then, what's the bruise? I kiss my fingers and then put it to the bruise. I kiss it better.
Hey, Keva's the mom around here. She would be the one that would kiss to make things better.
All right. I'll wait.
Kiss my eyes, damn it. Kiss my damn eyes.
All right. So all this kissing happens. It's totally platonic kissing, I'm sure. And Zonin, you can remove those boosts.
Thank you.
Would I get a fate point back for compelling myself to challenge the Dowager's authority?
Was that a compel? You were using that to find her, right? You invoked it.
Oh, I did. Never mind.
Yeah.
I lied. Don't listen to me.
Okay, but so I'm going to put a break in the recording here. So when we return, we're going to see about getting some water.